We're gonna watch this trailer, chat. Let me set this up really quick. But we're gonna watch this, chat. This is the season 8 trailer. Here we go. We're gonna watch the whole thing, chat, and then I might go back through it. Like,
choose your side and get ready to fight. It's time to put your skills to the test in the battle for the Sea of Thieves. Explore thrilling new locations and earn some incredible cosmetics. So load the cannons and sharpen your cutlass as we explore the depths of Sea of Thieves.
Sharpen your blunderbuss and your sniper rifle.
In Season 8, you'll be able to opt into on-demand PvP combat, duking it out in explosive ship battles that all take place in the shared world of adventure. You'll be fighting for one of two opposing factions, the Guardians of Fortune, who are loyal to the Pirate Lord and his allies, and the Servants of the Flame, who pledge themselves to Flameheart and the Reaper's Bones. Crews who join either faction can choose to represent them while either going about their normal pirate business, or actively hunting and sinking ships of the opposing faction. And this all begins with the Hourglass of Fate. Found on the captain's table of each ship, you and your crew can use it to choose which faction you wish to fight for. Though be warned, by voting to represent a faction, a crew is effectively marking themselves as ready and willing to engage in PvP combat. This means that you can be actively hunted by ships of the opposing faction. But if you want to go on the offensive and hunt opposing faction ships yourself, then look no further than the war map on the captain's table. Use it to seek out a foe, and then dive below the waves. As you glide through the murky waters far below, you'll scour the seas for a worthy match. You can use this time to ensure you and your ship are ready for the battle ahead. And once an opponent has been found, you'll ascend from the depths and burst out from below the waves. The opposing faction ship will be directly ahead of you. So ready to guns, and let battle commence! Both you and your foe will be placed within a designated battle area, which is visible on your ship's map. If you stray out of bounds, the Hourglass of Fate will start to become unstable, and you'll see a warning urging you to return to the fight. If you continue to leave the area, your hourglass will be destroyed, sinking your ship, and your opponent will be declared victorious. Winning battles by sinking opposing faction ships will reward you in several ways. Each successful battle will make your Hourglass of Fate more valuable, so the more ships you can sink, the more gold you receive when you vote to leave the battle at an outpost. You'll also earn allegiance. This represents the deeds you've done on behalf of either faction, similar to the experience you earn for the trading companies. If you're able to sink multiple foes in a row without being sunk yourself, you will start to build up an allegiance streak. As the streak gets larger, so too does the allegiance you'll earn from your victories. Reaching an allegiance streak of 4 will mark you as a faction champion, and your position will be displayed on the map table for all to see. Defeating a faction champion earns you slightly more allegiance and a lot more hourglass value than would normally be awarded. So you can expect to find courageous crews heading your way to try their hand at sending you to the ferry. Faction champions can also choose to hunt crews larger than their own. So if you're an ambitious solo slipper ready to prove yourself, this is the perfect way to test your mettle against some more fearsome foes. Though sinking ships isn't the only way to earn allegiance. When you bring treasure aboard a faction ship, you'll gradually increase your treasure grade. The more valuable the item you bring aboard is, the more your treasure grade will increase. And if you can successfully defend against and defeat rival faction ships while this treasure is on board, you'll earn even more allegiance for each ship sunk. When you leave the battle by voting at an outpost, your current treasure grade will increase the amount of allegiance you receive. You can even choose to sail as an emissary while also representing your faction, potentially netting even greater rewards. The higher your emissary grade, the more your Hourglass of Fate will be worth when you choose to leave your faction. However, choosing this style of play will make you an even more valuable target for ships from the opposing faction, so best be on your guard. With Season 8, we're also adding 2 new alignments for the captains of the Sea of Thieves. Complete the milestones to unlock new trinkets, crests, and other faction-themed cosmetics. And as you build up allegiance with one or both factions, you'll unlock some spectacular rewards for both sides. At allegiance level 100, you'll also gain access to special faction-only parts of the Athena's Fortune Tavern, or the Reaper's Lair. So long as you're also a Pirate Legend or level 75 Reaper, that is. These secret areas offer a number of exclusive rewards, some of which are literally life-changing. The Guardians of Fortune will grant you the blessing of Athena's fortune. Allowing you to take on the look of the various apparitions found within the Sea of Thieves. And if you travel into the Reaper's Lair, far below the Reaper's hideout, you can take part in a ritual to transform your soft, fleshy body into something altogether less alive. And prove, once and for all, that you were indeed big-boned. Explore the Reaper's Lair further, and you'll find new characters to interact with, including the Bonesmith, who'll allow you to customize your new style with the various bits and bobs befitting a scornful skeletal crew. And of course, with a new season comes new rewards, with over 100 levels of incredible items to unlock. That includes some slick new clothing options. There's even new emissary rewards, so there's boatloads of shiny new goodies to strive for. And there's also a new Plunder Pass, available as an optional purchase, where you can unlock some macabre cosmetics crafted on a midnight dreary, with the Ravenwood ship set and costume. Not only that, but by completing this season's Plunder Pass, you'll earn 1,000 ancient coins. And there's even more available in the Pirate Emporium. From a ship fit for a king, to a costume perfect for those who are hungry for battle. There's even trinkets to celebrate the games of Rare's past. So pop on in and discover what sparkling surprises lie in store. So get ready to earn allegiance for factions of fate, uncover new rewards in never-before-seen locations, and engage in the dramatic PvP action of Sea of Thieves Season 8.
All right, hey. All right, real quick. Okay, cool. Season 8. There's the trailer, chat. I am going to rewatch through this. Pause it a little bit. We'll talk about some stuff. I'll give you a little insight on some things that I'm probably allowed to say. And we'll just talk about everything, kind of what they're going on here. But yeah, there's the fresh, uncut trailer. We'll talk it about a little bit. And then after that, we'll go to the dev commentary. All right, so there you've got yourself the Athena curses and the skeleton curses. I know they talked about it a little bit in the dev commentary, as you will see. I know for the skeleton curses, they are their own unique cosmetics. They said it was brand new. So like these will be their own like customization setting. You can't wear like your other cosmetics with it because it's going to have their whole like set of unique stuff, kind of like you build your own skeleton. So there's a bunch of different things you can do there. They did say with the ghost curses that you can wear any of your cosmetics because it's just like a skin texture overlay for the ghost. So I'm assuming right now, I actually don't know. I'm assuming the standard one is going to be this green one, and I'm assuming this gold one is going to be probably if you get like a super high allegiance rating. I actually don't know, but that to me is what that looks like. We'll see when that season actually comes out.
So load the cannons and sharpen your cutlass.
Sharpen your cutlass. I made a comment earlier. I'm sure swords and cutlasses will be decently meta, but as you get better, there is skill-based matchmaking in this, which the developers will talk about. So I don't know exactly how that system's going to work. I don't even know if you can see it. I'm assuming that you won't be able to see your skill-based matchmaking rating. But obviously, the higher you go, the less swords you're going to see. So I think they might need to want to look into that. I know they put a ton of work into this to start. I kind of myself, and I was thinking about it. You guys can kind of talk about this one if you want. I kind of actually suggested, I don't know if they'll ever do it, but I think that you should be able to use your sword and your pistol on the ladder. Because I feel like that would shake up the meta, because you're going to have to board eventually. But I think that would shake up the meta, because the higher that you get, it's just going to be double gunning. I'm saying 90% of the time, the high level skill base can be all double gun. So if you could board better, like you could secure kills or you could fight up the ladder, that may do something. I mean, I don't know, but I would like to see them maybe mess with the weapon meta a little bit. Maybe let you swing your sword on the ladder. Maybe let you shoot like uphill. That way, if people are guarding you, obviously better guarders stand back a little bit, but you still might have a chance to do something. I know people drop shot and all that too, but you get what I'm saying, just for everybody.
And the servants of the flame, who pledge themselves to Flameheart and the Reaper's bones.
It's cool they finally made that into an elevator. I mean, it kind of was always assumed that there was something down there, but kind of cool that they actually added that in. That's going to be the Reaper's Stronghold. I don't know what they call it specifically, but that's going to take you down to that new area.
To choose which faction you wish to fight.
So you saw they did that, right? Like you can play both. So you can just switch that from Reaper to Athena, and then you fight the opposite faction. So like it's like the invasions or whatever, or if like you choose to battle each other, you're just going to fight somebody that has the other one selected. You can change those as you go. There's no, like, you don't have to commit to one. So you can play both, which is obviously the better choice.
Then, dive below the waves.
Okay. So this is sweet. Obviously going down, and I have just a little insight to how this works. It's pretty obvious.
Murky water.
It's pretty obvious on the service level, but this is when you will effectively leave your server, right? So like you queue up for this fight. And you're going to be playing, like you're going to queue up for the fight. As soon as it matches you with somebody, that's what's going to take you under the ocean. Kind of like how you would portal hop, if that makes sense, if you guys have seen me portal hop. And then this is like the load timer for you server transferring, going into the other server, right? And then you're going to emerge against the ship that it matches you versus.
You'll ascend from the depths.
Like, come on.
And burst out from below the
chat. That's sweet. Like, that's just so cool. It's so funny. Like, just it's just such a cool idea that they had to be able to do that. I don't know what kind of like warning that you get. I'm assuming it probably warns you when you're the one getting invaded. There's probably a banner or something or a sound, but we'll see.
So ready to guns. And let battle commence. Both you and your foe.
I noticed there was no sail management there on either galleon, just as, something I noticed. Very good, very good.
Will be placed within a designated
Okay, so I see this right here. I don't know. So this right here is the player. Mark yourself as Flameheart. I don't think you get marked on the map when you pick these. I don't think it's like a Reaper's mark. I actually don't know. I would assume not, because this guy doesn't have like an Athena thing on when you're looking at the map. So I think this is just letting you know that you're ready to go. The Reaper is the other team. Oh yeah, you're right. Maybe it just shows you your opponent. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So this area right here, right? So basically it creates a mini circle of influence. So you're not just going to troll. Like, you're not going to be like, I signed up for PvP, and then someone comes out of the water and you're like, I'm going to run away. You just sail around, or like go into the shores of gold, or just do some dumb crap. So they, they made this circle like a mini arena from where you spawn. And yeah. How are the supplies handled? It's straight up what you have. There's no like giving supplies. It's just you get your own supplies and then you queue up.
If you continue to leave the area, your hourglass will be destroyed, sinking your ship. And you're
so before anyone, this is going to be a huge point of contention on forums and stuff like that, which I'm going to tell you right now, it shouldn't be, but it's going to be. People are going to be mad that guys board their boat and spawn camp them and drive them out of the circle. So, but let me tell you, that's a valid tactic, and they beat you. Like, that's if you can't break the spawn camp and they drive you out of the thing, you lose, you died. That's it. Yeah, like that's fine. That's completely okay. And if you can't break the spawn camp and they drive you out, then you lost anyway. So that's just how it is. So obviously, people are going to just complain about that endlessly. Like, they didn't naval me properly. Like, no, you got knocked out of the thing. All right, you start in the middle. There's plenty of space. If you get camped and they drive you out, it is what it is. All right, that's just how it is. Chat.
As the street gets larger.
Chat. Do you guys realize that this is a triumphant arena boat being sunk? Arena is dead. Season 8 is here.
Will mark you as a faction champion, and your position will be displayed on the map table for all to see. Okay,
so this does show you. Okay, this shows you right here if you do 4 in a row. So this, to me, chat, listen, this is what I think. And I haven't heard anybody say this. This, to me, is the bounty system. Essentially. Like, people are like, there should be a bounty hunter. Like, to me, this is what that is. Because now it's like, okay, these guys have been terrorizing. Go get them. And I think they give you rewards for this. So yeah, basically this is the bounty system that everyone's asked for. If you're server hopping, you see a champion on there, you want to go rumble them. I mean, server hopping for champions might be a thing, chat. I'm not going to, it's not going to be season 8 like, man, I'm queuing up for this thing. Boom, 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 boom. There's other things that can happen here because this all is an adventure. You know what I'm saying? This is an adventure, so there could be some, audibles thrown in here, some different types of content. We'll figure it out. So the way this works, chat, is there's skill-based matchmaking. It matches you either solo sloop, duo sloop, brig, or galleon. And I don't think the players matter on the brig or galleon. You're not going to match like duo brigs. Like, that's not a thing. So the idea is it's going to match you evenly. If you win 4 times, you can choose to fight somebody that's a bigger ship than you.
And if you can successfully defend against and defeat rival faction ships while this treasure is on board, you'll earn even more allegiance for each ship sunk.
So I actually like this, chat. I know there was some discussion earlier about like letting people get treasure to like do the allegiance and things like that. But I think this is a good way for people to actively go play the game. Like, that might even be something that I'm wanting to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might stay on a server gather loot, but be able to be invaded. That way I know the PvP's coming, right? I don't have to look for it. I can just play normally, right? So basically you can loot stack and, you know, just call for people to come fight you. So I think it's actually a pretty cool system. I don't believe that it'll be super fast to level that way. I think it's still going to revolve around the PvP, which is very important. But I do think it's good to keep people playing the game normally too, right? So we'll have to figure that out. I don't know for sure. Like I know a lot of details, but I know a lot of details about it, but I haven't actually played it myself. Kind of just been like having discussions about it. I mean, just watching some stuff like this. So
The higher your emissary grade, the more your Hourglass of Fate will be worth when you choose to leave your faction. However, choosing this style of play will make you an even more valuable target for ships from the opposing faction. So best be on your guard.
listen, that's 3 guys tucking right there. All right. So you know, there's some tucks going on for this too. So not only is this just a straight, you know, PvP on demand, there's gonna be some tucking. There's gonna be some tucking happening here, chat, all right?
So long as you're also a pirate legend or level 75 Reaper, that is.
So basically what they said right there is that you have access to these. So you can PvP with this system right away. However, you can't access the extra areas unless you're either a pirate legend for Athena or you're a level 75 Reaper. So like you can still play the PvP mode. You just can't use these unless you are the respective max of each faction.
These secret areas offer a number of exclusive
I
rewards.
saw something right here, chat. Hang on.
Some of which
I wanted to show you guys this because I actually don't know what this is. This was actually something that I wanted them to add.
75 Reaper, that is.
Let me pause it at the right time. Oh, my
These
face is
secret
covering
areas offer
it.
a number of exclusive rewards.
Hang on. My face cam is covering this right now. Do you guys see these 3 red boats and then the 2 allegiance boats? I don't know if that means you can see people that are queued up for that on your server or not, but I think that would be fantastic. I think that would be awesome, personally. So there we got that again. So we got the gold and the green curse. They got some flags stacked back up here. This area is probably gonna be pretty cool.
And if you travel into the Reaper's lair,
Is this the Elden Ring Erd tree, chat? The Frenzied Flame?
with a new season comes new rewards.
All right,
With
so
over 100 crafted on
let's get past this. All right, and we'll watch the dev commentary. And I'll pause it as we go.
So there we have it, folks. Season 8 and all of it PvP glory. That was my best John McMurtry impression.
It's pretty good.
So I hope you enjoyed what we just saw. And handily, I have the people who made it sitting right across the table from me here. And we're going to ask them some questions to get a little deeper dive into Season 8. I don't know why. That was not John McMurtry.
That's very nice. I thought you were John McMurtry.
That's what he talks like when he's not putting his voice on. So, Mike, let's start off with it.
Yeah.
Give us a high level what is and why is Season 8 Season 8?
It's a good question. Honestly, so exciting to finally
So cool,
have
right?
players see that. I mean, we've been excited about this for so long. But obviously, Sea of Thieves is a huge game. There's so many different types of play styles. And, you know, we've been building out the world, making it richer, giving players new things to do. PvP and a focus on PvP has always been something in our minds. But we wanted to do it in adventure. We wanted to bring it to adventure in that seamless, immersive Sea of Thieves way. And there's a lot of responsibility with that. It had to be sanctioned PvP, where both sides opt in and want that experience. So we wanted to add this new way to play with.
So I think that's good that they did this way. Like, I know people give a lot of, you know, they're like, oh, Rare doesn't care about PvP, blah, 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 blah. But like, I do know these guys, like I talk to them, like they do care about PvP, obviously making this season. It's just, it's a difficult balance. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something you have to do right. So I think if they didn't care a long time ago, chat, they just would have gave people PvE servers and been done with it. but they never walked that back. I don't know if they ever will. I don't think they will, but I feel like they did at least a nice job of taking this into more of a 1v1 style. Obviously, we'll talk about caveats to that later, but I think it's much better, in my opinion, but I haven't played it, than Arena, of just being like chaos or people trolling each other or people not trying to win. Do you see what I'm saying? So like the idea of Arena to me was always not like, you know, people just went to play it. They didn't care about winning. And I feel like to me, that always bothered me about Arena. Not that I didn't like Arena necessarily. I just care about the W's. A lot of people didn't, even good crews, which I never liked that, but that, you know, that's just me.
That adversely affecting the rest of the sandbox. But for us, the most important thing was wrapping it in that kind of immersive, playful feel that's key to Sea of Thieves when you're out there on your adventures. So all of that seamlessly transitioning, as players saw there, going under the waves, but then wrapping it in that factional role play. So bringing in the Skeleton Curse, bringing in the Ghost Curse. Some of that thinking, you know, we kind of laid the kind of track for that early on with the kind of bringing in the Reapers. But this is really celebrating the good and the evil of the world, the Reapers and the Pirate Lord, as part of these new factions. So getting to that PvP gameplay when you want it on demand.
Sweet. And Andy, I know you are super excited about this Sunday. I know this is like, it's been kind of a real passion project for you and the team, right?
Yeah, the team's worked incredibly hard on it. And like Mike said, it was a really important update for us, and especially to try and make sure it doesn't affect what people know and love about Sea of Thieves at the minute. Like, we didn't want players to come.
So really quick, chat, too, to clarify, because I actually saw people asking about this, not here, but like in the Sea of Thieves chat on forums. Like, you can still go around and kill people like however you want. Like, you can be like good on this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go still play exactly the same way as you've been playing. This doesn't change anything for anybody, except that if you want to get that fight, you're going to get it. Does that make sense? So there's nothing being like taken away. It's all just extra ways to fight people.
Kind of jump into Season 8 and everything's kind of changed and all of that's affected. We wanted players to be able to play the game as they've always loved, but also have this new opportunity to opt in and do PvP on demand against other crews. So yeah, huge push from the team. We've also worked very closely with our partner program and our insiders as well on this.
I was very happy that he kind of tipped the cap to the partners and the insiders. Obviously won't go into depth, chat, but you know, some things you're seeing, if you know, you know what I'm saying? Some things that you're seeing with the mode, you know.
Got them in very early after we kind of done the initial conception for the kind of design vision for Season 8, and then they've been a huge help for us to try and
so thank you guys for
the best version of the
thank you to the Rare team for acknowledging
feedback from them that we've factored into this to this update to try and make it as good for players as possible.
It must have been really difficult to balance all that, right? Like, it's like,
it was, and there's a lot of like hidden challenges as well. But like, we've done a bunch of different stuff here. Like specific, I don't know if you want to go into the details of this yet. So like some of the early feedback that we got from our partners was around, you know, obviously if you're partaking in PvP, it's high octane. You know, there's streaks as that players are kind of earning as they do back-to-back ship fights. So it's going to be a very kind of intense experience, and we were very keen to make sure that after that experience had finished, we have a clear winner and a clear loser, and the losing crew actually gets migrated away from that sandbox session. So the winners get to stay in that sandbox, and they get to enjoy the rewards, get to repair their ship, get to go and restock for more resources before they dive into another fight or do any kind of traditional world event. And the losing team,
so obviously,
sees their ship sinking, and they migrate away onto a different server so that we can kind of ensure that they can have this battle, you know, say GG, and then ultimately move away and kind of be unaffected from each other going forward.
So chat, there's no redos. Like, you're going to get matched, right? You're going to get matched. Somebody's going to win. The other crew is going to get sent to another server. So there's going to be any like redos, no griefing. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody loses, They get pissed. They come back. You know, especially too if you're like doing the server where you're defending your loot, right? Like, you know how you can like loot stack? So think if you like loot stacked and you had people queuing against you and they were like, oh, I'm just going to keep going back. You know what I'm saying? So that's gone. So you defend your loot, they're out, go to your next game, do whatever you want to do. So yeah, so now it's kind of, you know, you have a clear winner and a clear loser, just like he said, making sure that, you know, there's no griefing, there's no going back, there's no causing problems. So I think that this personally, I think is one of the best features of this season 8 season. Look at Joe's face right here. Yeah, but you guys see what I'm saying? So I think that's a really good feature, and I think it's to the benefit of everybody for that.
And what do you call it internally, Andy?
Well, we pitched it as the loser tunnel. Well, I did promise myself I'd never say that. But I mean, if Sea of Thieves was going to have a game over screen, that's it. Like, you know, when you play in the arcade, you lose and you get the little game over screen and then you move away. Yeah. You'll basically move into a new server. You'll spawn on an island facing your ship, and then you can reboard your ship. The Hourglass of Fate is just there waiting for you on the ship, so you can get straight back into a faction, dive immediately, and go back for more chaos.
But I like the way that you've kind of approached that with you're acknowledging kind of that fight is over, and now we're going to separate you and kind of send you to kind of apart from each other. I mean, I think it's really good.
We were considering not doing that, but then the winner's position, they're kind of frail after they've won. They've expended all those resources. Their ship's going to be in a bad state. Their position is known in the world, and if that crew is to just respawn in that world, they know exactly where they are. They can come straight back for them. And it didn't really feel like you'd won the fight. It just felt like you get into this kind of attrition. So that was a really important thing. That was something that came from discussing earlier with the partners. The battle bounds was something that came from our insider program. Again, we didn't have them planned. And we saw, you know, crews running away and trying to, you know, flee from combat. And that's where the battle bounds come from, so that we kind of have this kill or be killed state for the two teams, and one team wins and the other one loses.
This is like a bonus question while I'm thinking of here, but was there a particular feature or thing that you were developing that you were like, oh, I really kind of don't know how we're going to solve this, and then you went, I had that kind of realization moment. You were like, oh, this is cool, this is how it works. Like,
I think like the surfacing was something that was kind of like this idea, and it was like, man, wouldn't it be cool if you dive like the skeleton ships? And that's how you got into combat. And then, like, you know, we were talking about having this underwater tunnel. So whilst you're matchmaking and trying to find this crew, and you know, we do all skill-based matchmaking inside that underwater tunnel.
Remember when they talked about this, like talking about the dive feature? Everyone immediately loved that. That's just such a cool feature. Like, I knew everyone that plays the game. It's just one of those things, probably from like Pirates of the Caribbean, but like, the diving and surfacing is just sweet. Like, it's just super cool. Like, even if that's just all it's there for, it's badass. And I think it's a really cool feature that they added personally.
As well, to try and get you an opponent of the same ship size on an opposite faction that's around the same kind of skill rating as you. But like, that emerge moment was an early idea, and it took a lot of effort to try and bring that to reality. Like, Chloe did some incredible music, Guillaume did some incredible sound effects. When that boat starts pitching up, all the music starts building and building and building before you kind of collapse out of the water, and then you hear the boat like crunching as it kind of smacks the waves as it comes back down. Your opponent's straight in front of you, and it's just a fight to the death.
I think the music's different for each faction as well, isn't it?
It's so intense as well.
The music's so good. The music in this game's incredible.
The way that builds.
We know that already, though. You play the game for 10 minutes, you know that.
It's just an amazing, powerful feeling for the crew.
The thing that, like, I think the team's so proud of is just that it's that great new way to play. You know, great core gameplay. Get into the gameplay that you want. If you want to get into these exciting PvP battles, you can do that. But it's got all of that storytelling and all of that immersion, like diving, being on your ship under the water, catching sight of the Kraken, seeing Megalodon swimming past. It makes the world feel so rich. And I think from a gameplay perspective as well, that the moment I realised this was going to be so special was playing it. And this is not something you typically feel in Sea of Thieves, but that feeling of one more go. You know, this is such a great short session experience where
last game,
you
guys,
come straight into the game. Everybody's got access to the Hourglass right from when they start the game. They've got the war map. You can run down the jetty, board your ship, dive below the waves, and then you're going to get into a ship battle. It could play anywhere from 5 to maybe 15 minutes on average. But then, do you stay in the world? Do you go take on that skeleton fort, or go do something else, or do you just dive again straight away? So that feeling of just one more go, like getting into that track and building up your streak, it feels so good to play. But it's not at the expense of that immersive sandbox. Like, if you don't want PvP, it's not going to affect you. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this ripples throughout the sandbox. And
it's like you just said, chat. Like you said, if you don't want to queue up for it, don't do it. It's that simple. You don't like PvP, don't queue up. You want to try it, queue up.
PvP, they've now got this great outlet. I'm sure we'll still see emergent PvP battles, and we're kind of catering for that. I'm sure we can talk about that with the championships and all that great gameplay. But it just connects you to the gameplay you want when you want it.
And talking about we have the kind of gameplay, and we've talked about the mechanics, but we always love to like wrap our stuff in lore, and there's some heavy, amazing lore-based stuff in this update, right? So, Mike and Andy, or pass between you, like what where do you want to start?
I'll just start with, it's no kind of accident in terms of what adventure's just gone live and what the kind of the story and the wrapping is for Season 8. We knew that we were going to bring this battle in between the Reapers and between the Pirate Lord. So this decision point that we've just seen play out with the adventure is absolutely key to this. You've now got this idea of belonging to a faction and picking a side. So one way to look at it is this is a battle between skeletons of the Reaper's Bones and the ghosts of Athena's Fortune, and just that playful role play. So when that ship bursts out of the water and it's that crew of skeletons and they've customized themselves, they've changed their head, they've changed their body, they've changed their lower body, it just makes it feel like that. It gives it that adventure role play that we always try and wrap it into Sea of Thieves. It's not just a game mode. It's something that feels like it's got its hooks into everything about the game.
Yeah. We've gone like really deep on the kind of new environments that we've built as well as part of that lore building. We kind of have these faction hideouts now, expansion to the Athena's Fortune hideout that already exists. There's like this new entrance that you can kind of get access to once you've got enough allegiance with the Pirate Lord and the Guardians of Fortune, and that's this big expansion with these kind of beautiful cutscenes where you get to meet our most beloved characters face to face, to receive those new curses. And then we've also kind of expanded the Reaper's Lair, the Reaper's Hideout, by adding the Reaper's Lair underneath it, so players will be able to have that kind of pirate legend moment, all fresh again, get to go deep into the belly of this new island and get to explore its kind of many vestiges of power. It's very, very exciting. And there's a bunch of new characters down there as well, right?
There is. I don't want to spoil it too much in terms of those little glimpses that you got of the scenes that when you receive these curse or this blessing, but as part of that faction. But I think they're some of the best kind of narrative moments that we've ever added. It's such a payoff to shake hands with the Pirate Lord or to receive that skeleton curse. And like the environment that Andy's talking about, the new expansion to the Athena's Fortune hideout and the Reaper's Lair, it's, in my opinion, it's some of the best environment we've ever done. The team have knocked that absolutely out of the park. 100%. And there's a responsibility of that. I think that when we first put in the Reaper's hideout and we had that hatch there, I think our players have often speculated, what is below the Reaper's hideout? And we really wanted to pay that off in style. So it's like seeing this hidden world that you haven't seen before, and all these new wonderful characters like the Chronicler and the Bonesmith, just how characterful the Bonesmith is, right? And how he gives you all these new cosmetics.
It's so cool. Like,
and it's huge.
What, the Bonesmith or the environment? Yeah, no, it is. The environment is huge, and like, again, a bunch of that was shown on the trailer, and like when players get to, pledge their allegiance to Flameheart and the Servants of the Flame, they'll get to explore it for themselves. But yeah, the Bonesmith's a new character that will be part of the Reaper's Lair, and that character will unlock all of the kind of customization for the Skeleton Curse. So we really wanted to kind of push the Skeleton Curse and not only offer a new curse, but offer ways for players to kind of customize their appearance when that curse is equipped. So when you unlock the Skeleton Curse and the flesh burns off your skin and you become part of that faction for real, you can unlock new heads for your skeleton appearance, new torsos, new lower bodies. You can even change like the bone color of your appearance as well. So there's a bunch of new kind of customization and permutations of how these crews are going to look together on the seas. It's very, very cool.
You can tell we're very proud.
Yeah, these guys are here. Most of this stuff I'm unfamiliar with, so I'm kind of just letting them go. It all sounds sweet. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
No, but like this update has got a bit of everything. I think doing PvP justice in adventure was something that we wanted to do. We wanted to do it in style. I think it's got some great environment work, some of the best rewards we've ever done. The players have often asked.
It does look like there's tons of rewards for this, by the way. Like, I don't actually know what they are, but just from that video, it looks like there is a lot of stuff that you can unlock by doing this, which is probably going to make some people want to at least try PvP or get incredibly mad that they can't get them another way. But sorry about your luck.
Asked for that skeleton curse, but doing it as part of these factions with all that role play as part of this great new kind of core way to play felt like the right thing to do. And the buzz in the studio for this, we're all so excited and can't wait to see what people think later on.
Yeah, absolutely. And Joe, I know we've kind of touched on this, but what do you think it means for the sandbox in general?
Yeah, so just before I hit that, I just wanted to say as well, I wanted to kind of chip in on kind of what the folks were saying here of the amount of work that has gone into this across so many different parts of the team, the complexity involved in this, right? In building this kind of this matchmaking to new servers and with the skill-based stuff as well, like all of the complexity that's gone into this and the visuals, the audio, the gameplay, it has been an immense undertaking and, like you say, a passion project. But I think
I will double that. Yeah. So they put a ton of work into this. Like I said, they had a ton of their own great ideas, ton of cool stuff implemented. They asked, partners, insiders for a lot of feedback, which they really took to heart in a big way. So I will double his sentiments there.
Kudos to everyone involved at Rare, that has managed to kind of deliver this basically. I think they've just done an amazing job, right? And I think it's going to blow people away when it comes out. And thanks to the partners and the insiders and everyone that helped us kind of craft this too, because it's just something that I think everyone should be incredibly proud of. So I just wanted to say that because I think it really matters. I think it's just it's been so much love and energy poured into this. So what was the question? Something about how does it change the sandbox? How does it ripple out, as Mike said? Yeah. So, well, I think that's the fascinating thing, right? Because yes, for people that are opting into this, the kind of you are ultimately you're going and you want some PvP, right? You want this kind of action, but the fact that it's taking place in the shared world means that other players can kind of see it going on, right? You can get your little crowd, you can get your little audience kind of kind of watching on, or even people can sail in and kind of engage with this, right? Because it's in the shared world. And
so you heard that, right, chat? So, like he said, this is in adventure mode, so it's not going to be just a straight 1v1 every time. And I've got some ideas, that I'm probably not going to go over right away that could make this interesting. But yeah, if you're duking it out and you're fighting somebody and somebody wants to come in there and dumpster both people or help one of the sides or whatever, yeah, go for it. That's just how it is. So that, again, some people are going to be really upset about that. Some people are going to love it. I just hope that everyone keeps an open mind with stuff like that and just has some fun with it. I'm sure even for me, I'm going to be on both sides of that happening. It's going to frustrate me, but at the same time, it's going to be probably hilarious, probably fun. There's no way to know. It keeps it interesting. So we'll see when it gets here. But yeah, like I said, it's in adventure mode. Anything goes. Try to enjoy it. Enjoy the different scenarios. Keep it fresh. All right.
The fact that we've brought this experience and it's into Sea of Thieves, it's into what already exists as a sandbox, means there's still going to be loads of that unexpected kind of nature and things that can happen as part of this. So there's still going to be really interesting stories, really interesting moments that happen as part of this, which is just, again, just what is special and testament what Sea of Thieves is and how smoothly this has been integrated into it. And I'm fascinated, first of all, to see how many people are going to go and get hundreds of wins in a row, right? Who's going to have the world record? But how's that going to go backwards and forwards? But then, what other stories are we going to see as part of this coming in, right? Like, I just think it's again, just masterfully integrated as always into what Sea of Thieves is. So I'm interested to see
if he does say so himself.
Yeah,
I was praising you guys.
No, but honestly, I'll join in. No, but I think like Andy's been a fantastic champion for this update. I know you believed in this, right? You've been so passionate about all of this, but across the team, there's so many people to name. I mean, like Andy Finch's team, the environment team, the audio team, Guillaume, Kate, everyone's put so much love into
services
this.
and matchmaking.
Exactly. And
like everybody.
You feel the buzz on the team, right?
Yeah.
I saw like Glenn tweeting today, just so passionate about all this work that's been done, because I think because it has got a bit of everything in it. It's pulled everything across the team. It's that new way to play, which pulls in services. It brings in new architecture, but then all the rapping, all the environment art, all the music, like this update to me has kind of like refreshed the idea. This team is at the top of its game, and like I think we should be so proud of everyone that's worked on this update. So can't wait to see it go live and see what people think.
Absolutely. When you said that about emergent moments, I'm just waiting for the first person who is tucked on a ship that they don't know has opted in.
But that's it, right? That is it. Like, that's it. It's just like all of the things you can't even imagine happening, right? It's like it's just going to be great.
And just to finish before we go over to our lovely portraits again. And
well, here we go. That's pretty much it right there. It was a great little reveal there. I think it was pretty cool. Really enjoyed what they had to say. I'm looking forward to it. I think there's going to be more to this too than just like what you're initially thinking. I think within the sandbox, it's going to be kind of a pretty sweet update. So we will figure that out as we get some more experience with it. This comes out on the 22nd, coincidentally. Maybe not so coincidentally, who knows? But yeah, thank you guys for sticking around for this portion of the stream. It was good to be able to discuss this with you guys. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching the YouTube video today. On the way out, don't forget to follow the social media, my Twitter, my Instagram. If you've not already, please remember to hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Thank you all very much. See you on the next video.